Yeah, talking about food insecurity. I had a press conference almost 2 years ago. It was covered, it was reported on a lot of television stations and print media too, where I talk about the looming famine in the country. You don't need to be a prophet to know that this is going to happen. It's something that has to do with what you can see in the physical. Because people were leaving the farm. Farmers are not secured. Farmers are not secured as a person. Their farm or their investment in farming are not secured. So, what do you expect from such a situation? I said this thing over and over and over again, that insecurity in Nigeria is underreported. Is seriously underreported. So if we just need to put our house in order. Now, I know President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to succeed. He has a track record of success to show, both in the private sector and in the public sector. So all of us should leave no stone unturned to support him and offer viable solutions or suggestions to the problem we have in the country. I asked a question in Abuja. There was a meeting, a program put together by the Brazilian embassy. I think the chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum was here. And I said this thing: what is the success Nigeria recorded in cocoa production? It was never a federal government program. It was a program championed by Obafemi Awolowo in the south, in the west, in western Nigeria. The success recorded in groundnut production in the north was not a federal government program. It was a program championed under the leadership of Sir Ahmadu Bello as Premier of the Northern Region. So what is this telling us? We cannot drive Abuja, we cannot drive agriculture in this country using a central or a unitary system. The Federal Ministry of Agri is going to do this, Federal Ministry of Agri is going to do that. We're only wasting our time. We're only wasting our resources. If I am the president today, what I will say is this: I want maybe 500,000 hectares of maize across the country. Let states come up with their proposal. Show me the land. Tell me what you need to cultivate the land for maize cultivation. Those states that has comparative advantage should be favored. They should be empowered. They should be supported. Farmers in those places, so that we know in this country, in the next 24 months, we are doing 500,000 hectares of maize. It's just hypothetical. I'm not saying it has to be 500,000. Just the way we did in Ondo State, a target of 100,000 was set for oil palm, and by plus or minus, we're in the realm of 80-something thousand hectares in the state. So you have a specific, measurable, achievable, time-bound program in place. That is number one. You can say rice. Those states that has let's first of all determine those commodities that we need. You need rice, you need maize, you need all these things. Then at the same time, states that are advantaged in tree crops, in aquaculture, should equally be supported. We need cocoa for foreign exchange. We need oil palm for import substitution, so that we reduce. Those are the things that will strengthen our naira. So let us agree as a country that for this commodity, this is what we need to do. For this commodity, this is what we need to do. For this, and we have a projection so that we know where we are starting, and we know where we are heading to. So I believe this has to be done. Then what you now follow, people talk about that agric is in the concurrent list. Don't mind the state government. It is not true. When you, for instance, today, what is the genetic endowment of most of the seeds in circulation? You are looking at your maize. Maybe you get 4, 5, 6 metric tons at most per hectare in the country. I'm not even sure the national average is above 3 tons per hectare. Whereas in Europe, in most of these developed countries, they're already getting 18, 20, 23 metric tons. So, and you are using the same tractor with them. So don't let me go into mechanization now, but let me talk about maybe seeds, the genetic endowment of our seeds. We need to do a lot on it. It is not just enough to say they are planting maize, they are planting rice, they are planting this, they are planting that, and we have given them tractor. Will the yield coming from your farm be able to pay for the tractor that you are bringing in? So if government, as a matter of policy, realize that this is not going to be feasible, and they now say, okay, we are supporting land cultivation with tractors across the country. We are supporting land cultivation across the country with power tillers, so that smallholders can prepare their land better. So we have to look at this. Then generally, let me just put it this way, so that it will be very straightforward. All over the world, this is my advice to Mr. President. All over the world, it's not just enough to supply inputs or fertilizer or seeds. No, all over the world, if you want sustainable agricultural development, there are 5 critical areas that has to be touched. The first one, they call them the 5 I's. That is my name for them. The first one, institutions. What are the institutions that are available to drive this vision? Are they enough? Are they more than what we need? Should we merge some? What is their modus operandi? How do they operate? Are they operating optimally? Why are they not operating optimally? So for Nigeria, you'll be looking at Federal Ministry of Agric. You'll be looking at a Bank of Industry. You'll be looking at NISA. You'll be looking at maybe the various state ministry of Agric. You'll be looking at financial institutions. I will talk about finances as time goes on. So you look at all the institutions. You look at the research institutions. You look at those ones that are non-governmental. Those are the farmers' organization. Is AFAN working the way they should? Is it political AFAN? Is AFAN... I know at a point in time we have about 3 national presidents of AFAN in the country. So 3 or 4 or 5 all over the country. So what should we do? How do we restructure these institutions? How should they operate? For instance, Federal Ministry of Agric, they have regional offices, which means they have 6 offices, 6 regional offices in the country. You don't need to bring anybody from the state to Abuja. Let the region coordinate whatever federal government is doing at in each region. You'll be saving time, you'll be saving money, you'll be saving resources. So that is the way I look at it. Look at most of these intervention funds. NISA, we are looking at NISA. The other time under President Buhari, NISA was a disaster as far as I'm concerned. Whichever way anybody might look at it, it was a pure disaster. So how do they operate? What was the effect? It was celebrated on television. You cannot keep people just in Abuja and you ask them to be looking at the 36 states of the federation. So we look at institutions. Let us appraise all the institutions we have. Let us merge some. Let us create some. Let us look at even local government. What should be their function? We are talking about rural roads. How do we address challenges in rural roads? Targets should be set across board for all this. When you move from institution, you talk about infrastructure. What are the needed infrastructures? How do we maximize what we have? What do we need to put in place so that challenges will be surmounted? When you move from infrastructure, you talk about inputs. That is when you begin to talk about fertilizer. That's when you begin to talk about seeds. So it's not just enough to say we have given them seed. No. You talk about decision, infrastructure, inputs. Then you go to incentives. From incentives, you go to information. Information must be adequate. So it is until you address these 5 critical points that you can now begin to talk about sustainable agricultural development. That is that. Now, I still want to talk about why people saying that federal government is in the concurrent list, state can operate, they don't know what they are doing. No, I will give you one example. We brought in sprouted nuts from Malaysia. From the farm in Malaysia to the airport in Nigeria, it was just 2 days. It took us 3 days. For us to get out of the port in Lagos, it was almost 30 days just to clear it out. FGV in Malaysia raised eyebrow. They said, you cannot get things right this way. What is the problem? You will look for this man. They say he's going to pray in Kano. If you don't meet him on Friday, and if you come on Friday, he's not going to be there. A lot of rubbish. So, has state power over that? No. Bring in any seed today. If you want to maximize production, you coming through the port, you are going to face big problem. This has to be addressed. The continuous increase in tariff, the import duty, is not encouraging. Somebody is bringing in money. Somebody is bringing in farm equipment. Is bringing in seeds, and you are increasing the tariff. You are saying no. This amount you are going to pay, and it's investing in long-term something. So how he's not even sure of making profit? So you cannot prioritize agriculture and at the same time put policies in place that are not in favor of those people that are going into it. There is no incentive. I will mention the issue of finance. The belief of the present administration is that CBN has no business in agri-finance. I agree. But what is the alternative? How did CBN get into funding agriculture? It was because commercial banks are not farmer friendly. You cannot get a kobo from most of these commercial banks. When you sit down and what they tell you is, okay, look, we are 25% interest. By the time you put all that things together, you are looking at about 30%. If you are going to make 32% profit from what you are doing, let's assume you are making profits about 32-35%. It means you are just working for the bank. So what is the point going to such venture? So we need to put in place a policy that we assist those that are going into farming. We need a financial system that is farmer friendly. If that it was because commercial banks were not farmer friendly that CBN came into giving money into directly funding agriculture. So then you can say, what of BOA? BOA, the structure of BOA is not in the interest of anybody. Our rice farmers in Ondo State apply for loan. They said they have to come to Kaduna to sign papers. I'm saying it. So all of them must go to Kaduna. I now call the office. I say, going to Kaduna to sign paper because they want 250,000 naira loan to buy inputs. So what of the cost of going to Kaduna? What of the risk? So BOA should be restructured. BOA, it should have regional offices, state offices with adequate power, authority to approve loans. Meeting at the national level should just be between coordinators of the 6 geographical zones. The approving authority should not be at the headquarters. This should be applicable even to Federal Ministry of Agri. Let the 6 geographical zones, let them have their budget from the federal government, and let each zone plan what they are going to do with their fund. I believe doing this will help us tremendously. Still talking about institution, if we don't address the issue of insecurity of farmers and farms, we are wasting our time. And the first step to take, talking about state police, fantastic, let's go ahead with that. We must reform cattle rearing system in this country. Anybody still talking about nomadic farming in this country is an enemy of peace. It's an enemy of progress. Come to think of it, you are talking about nomadic cattle rearing system. Nomadic cattle rearing system is not in favor of our animals. It's not in favor of those cattle. They trek about, maybe they are able to take maybe 2-3 liters of waters in a day, and they use it. They trek to where they are going to get the water. They trek back with the 3-4 liters they've been able to drink. So and you are complaining that you are getting 1 liter of milk, where in other climes while their cattle over there takes even up to 50-60 liters of water in a day. So why would they not get better milk yield? And they are stationary. They don't expend the food and the water they've taken on trekking all about. Let's leave the animal. Let's talk about the herders themselves. When are they going to have a settled life? They go from one jungle to another, from one forest to another. When will their children be able to go to school? And some people are saying it is a way of life, that is how it's supposed to be. Those people saying that, anybody saying nomadic cattle rearing is what we have to continue to do in this country today, they are enemies of this country. We must set a deadline for the abrogation of nomadic cattle rearing. And how should this happen? This could be done at the state level. Each state should look for. Chief Obafemi Awolowo said this thing in the Second Republic when he talked about nomadic cattle rearing. We were not having this problem. That is what we call visionary leadership. They said, how will you do it? He said he will take some of the herders, he will take them to Israel, take them to Netherlands, take them to some of these countries. Let them remain there for a year or so. Expose them to modern way of cattle rearing. By the time he brings them back, he said he will settle them, give them the same facilities. He said gradually we begin to change it. All over, it has been talk on television. So if we don't change, because nomadic cattle rearing has become a cover for people that are kidnapping. So if you don't have if you don't have cattle roaming about all over the country, if they are stationary in a particular location where you give them good schools, where you give them everything they require, I'm not saying it should. So if that is done, you can be rest assured that insecurity problem will come down drastically. Then anybody just staying in the forest reserve under one pretense or the other could be apprehended and could be questioned and adequately dealt with. So if we don't address all these challenges, I don't see how we are going to be food secured. We can turn around this insecurity in 24 months. Nigeria can become food sufficient in 24 months. I am very optimistic. It is not rocket science. It is very simple. It is easy to be carried out. If the political will is there, if we are all sincere about the situation on ground, mechanization, to me, we don't need more than maybe 2-3 brands of tractor nationwide, so that we can attract the manufacturer of those tractors to have their plants here, so that there will be backup spares, there will be backup training, so that when you have a tractor and there are issues on the tractor, you can pull a call to the manufacturer, and quickly they dispatch the spares that you need to effect repairs on your farm. I have been involved in a well-organized farm in this country. I was a staff of Total Agric, a subsidiary of Total Nigeria. We operated on 6,000 hectares. With all sense of humility, we operated a fantastic, highly mechanized farm. So when I talk about mechanization, I know what I'm talking about. It is not enough to acquire a tractor, but will you be able to pay back the cost of the tractor? It is not enough to acquire a tractor. Will you be able to keep the tractor for so many years so that the lifespan will be comparable to what you have overseas? This year, this company will come. This administration will buy from Germany. Another one will come, will buy from Brazil. Another one will come, they will go to another country. So you have different types of brands of tractors all over the country. I think we should put our heads together. For the northern region, maybe we say, okay, we need tractors of about 50, 75 horsepower, and this brand, maybe one or two up north. In the southwest, in the southeast, we determine what we need and we work on it. So that is my position. And again, I want to appeal to the youth in the southwest in particular. If we continue this way, we continue to get it wrong. Most of the farms in the southwest today, they have problem of workers. Nobody wants to work anymore.